Okay, welcome everyone. I am Chris Moore with Solid Rock Enterprises. I'm here today to talk to you through the years, a contractor's journey. I'm going to tell you some of the memorable projects that we have done over the years, some of the challenges we faced and how we overcame them. So I've been in the construction industry for almost 40 years. My first construction job, 1986 in Palm Springs, California. I was looking for an opportunity and went to work for a man by the name of Karl Hasek, who was a Czechoslovakian trained master builder. And even though I only spent 4 months working with Mr. Hasek, I learned more from him in 4 months than many people learn in a lifetime. And since that time, I've been involved in very many construction projects. I started Solid Rock Enterprises in June of 2001, and since that time have been serving people here in the Roanoke Valley complete their dreams, create the homes that they have always wanted that work for them through all phases of their life. So this is a picture of me when I was 2 years old, and as you can see with the hammer, I was interested in construction way back then. So when we first started the company in 2001, we built a custom house at Smith Mountain Lake, and the house turned out great. However, my financials on the project were less than stellar. I discovered at the end of the project that I had made a grand total of $6 an hour building that house. After which a contractor that had been one of my customers when I was selling building components asked me if I was interested in framing a house for him. And so for the next several years, we got involved in framing some very interesting projects. We did round towers. We did curved stairways. On this particular job that we did in Salem, there were 2 round towers on the back of the house. We built the roofs for these towers on the ground, and then we lifted them in place with the crane. And that required some precision measuring so that when we got them to the top, they fit into place. And there's the project after we got the roof on, and really enjoyed those kinds of projects, working with round things. I once had a job working for a contractor who said, "We don't build round things," but I have found building round things to be very interesting. In fact, I'm planning on building a round house to live in. So this is some of the curved stairs that we have done that went along with the round turrets. Notice all the archways in this particular house. That particular set of stairs was self-supported on the left side there. That stair stringer was made of 11 layers of 1/8 inch plywood glued and screwed together to form a self-supporting stair. There's another view from the top of that same stairwell, and another set of curved stairs that we built during this time. This particular set also had a set of curved stairs going down into the basement. The next project we're going to talk about is we got a call from some folks that lived also at Smith Mountain Lake. They had a deck across the back of their house. The deck had seen better days. It was ready to fall off the house, and their idea was that in place of the deck, that they would have 2 sunrooms, one on each end of the house, with a deck in between. And so this is what the project looked like after we got done. We've got the sunroom on the left here is an extension of the kitchen. The sunroom on the right is a sitting area off the master bedroom. A lot of glass. This particular project was a bit of an engineering challenge in that the ridge beam sat right above this window, and obviously that is not a bearing window. So we had to create beams coming up the angle of the roof on both sides, supported by these columns to carry the weight of that ridge beam on both sides. Of course, we had the open deck in between, and we did the under deck waterproofing on that deck so that the space underneath this sunroom addition would be available at all times of the year. If it's raining, we still have a dry patio space underneath there. This is the view out of the sunroom, out looking over the lake, and a view of the deck and the steps leading down to the lower level. The next project we're going to talk about, I call a mobile home makeover. We got a call from some folks, and they lived in a double wide mobile home. Now, granted, it was the nicest double wide mobile home I've ever seen in my life. It had 2x6 exterior walls. It had wood siding and was very rustically designed on the inside. Looked more like a mountain cabin than a mobile home, but their idea was that over the master bedroom and master bath, they wanted a roof that looked, more like a chalet. And so they wanted to know if we could come in, cut the roof off their mobile home, put a steeper roof on it, add 4 feet to the end, and a porch. And so there we are digging the footings for the 4-foot extension. We brought the crane in. We cut the roof off the existing home in sections, lifted them off with the crane. This is a picture of the inside after we got it done with the wood paneling. The hickory flooring and the wood ceiling, very, very rustic, handmade doors with clinched over nails. And the finished product with a balcony over the porch. The homeowner came to me after we got started, and he said, there's a lot of wasted space over this porch. You don't suppose that you could put a balcony up there, because they had a really nice view of a pond and the woods beyond. And I said, well, let me do a little thinking on that. And so this is the end result with the balcony over the porch. It's got the cable rails so that the view is not obstructed. The railing on that top porch is a live edge slab of cedar. Turned out really, really nice, I think. There's another view. And over here on the right is the spiral staircase, which leads up to the door out onto the balcony over the porch. So I think this project turned out really well. One of the things I like to do when I'm working with clients, if there's a way for me to produce for you what you want to do, I'll figure out a way to do it. A lot of times people will ask for things that are outside of what's typical, what's ordinary, and I love doing projects that are not typical and not ordinary. This is the bathroom, the rustic vanity, the vessel sinks, the stand-up shower, and the freestanding tub. So the next project I call from cluttered to customized. And I call it that because these people were definitely hoarders. When we first came to see them, it was very difficult to walk through their house. They had so much stuff in their house. This is a picture of the kitchen with the homeowner sitting right there in the middle, completely surrounded by clutter. Really difficult project. We brought in a professional organizer on this project to help them get organized, go through some of their clutter, clean up their mess, and then we remodeled the entire home. This is under the sink. It had been leaking for so many years that the bottom of the wall was completely rotted out, and you could actually see the backyard through the wall of the house. So we rebuilt all of that. We came in, we added cabinetry. This is the kitchen when it was done. This couple wanted to be able to live in this home throughout the rest of their life. They both had some health issues, and so we created an accessible kitchen that had a lot of features that allowed them to use it from a seated position, from a wheelchair, using a walker, that kind of thing, such as the raised dishwasher, the cooktop, and the sink both have removable cabinet fronts so that they can become roll under. The island has different cabinet countertop heights, which makes use by people with different abilities easier. There's the cooktop with the cabinet front in place. There's the cooktop with the cabinet front removed, making it a roll-under cooktop. We also have the pull-down shelving unit in the upper cabinets. This comes down to the countertop height so that you can get out of it what you need before it goes back up into the cabinet. Same thing on the sink. The cabinet front is removable, making it a roll-under sink. There it is with the cabinet fronts installed. This is a stair lift that also enabled them to get up and down the stairs with ease. Now in the bathroom, the existing home had a hall bath facing the hall, had a master bath. They were back to back. We took the wall out between those two units, made it one large bathroom. We worked in a curbless shower with trench drains under the curtains, so any water that hit the curtains would roll down into the trench drains. Built-in seat, fold-down grab bar in the curbless shower. Now, this particular couple asked for something that is totally unique in my experience. Haven't had anybody before or since ask for something like this, which is his and hers commodes. And this was the only bathroom in the house, and they simply wanted to be able to, if they both had to go at the same time, they could. Now, most people who see this say, that's a little too close for comfort, but again, we do for people what they ask for. So again, in the bathroom, we have the same feature we had in the kitchen, which is the removable cabinet fronts, making either or both of these sinks roll under. We also have the medicine cabinet, which is a tower sitting on top of the countertop so that it is easily accessible. The next project we have is called Creativity on Display. On this particular project, we got a call from some folks. This is the back of their house. It faces the lake, but underneath it was just dirt. There was not really any usable space. They couldn't really do anything with it. They wanted to create a screen porch on the basement level of their house. Now, one of the issues was there's 7 poles across the space there, so the view of the lake was going to be obstructed by these 7 poles. So the first thing we did was we put up a temporary wall to hold up the house. We put in a large structural beam, and then we went back with only 4 posts in place of 7, so that we could then create 3 arches. This is the stamped concrete floor, which has a cobblestone look to it. And then we put in 3 arches on the backside of the house facing the lake, an additional arch on each end. The inside and outside of this porch was covered with cedar siding. And then we filled in the arches with screen, creating a screen porch, a aluminum underdeck waterproofing system that also served as the ceiling for the screen porch, and this is the finished product. Next project we're going to talk about, I call the multi-generation remodel. We got a call. The woman had lost her husband. She had moved in with her son and daughter-in-law, and she had 1 bedroom in this house. This window right here was her bedroom. Her daughter-in-law was an artist who worked from home, so she was home all the time. They were kind of getting underfoot with each other a little bit, and so they wanted us to build an addition that contained a dedicated living space for the mother-in-law that had her own heating and cooling system, so she could keep her space hotter than the rest of the house if she so desired. Also that had her own bathroom, her own kitchenette area, and her own deck. But yet, for purposes of getting together with the rest of the family, there was full access to the rest of the house. So again, here's the window that we just looked at. Off of that bedroom, that became a door. We created a vaulted ceiling coming out from that bedroom to create the living room. This is what the addition looked like from the outside as we were building it with the house wrap and the temporary roofing in place. half round window on the end, built-in shelving in the living room. Now, in the kitchen, she had asked for soapstone countertops. And so we ordered the soapstone countertops. None of the countertop companies in the area had any interest in installing these countertops. So I installed them myself. They had to be epoxied together. That sink came in 5 pieces so that you had to epoxy the sink together in place. And the backsplashes had to be ripped down with a saw and put in place. And then all of it sanded down to a 800 grit sandpaper. And all this time I'm thinking, these countertops are just really not very attractive. They're gray, they're kind of nondescript. Why would anybody spend this kind of money for these countertops? However, in a tub with the countertop came this solution. It was a mix of mineral oil and beeswax. And as you begin to rub this onto the countertop, the graining comes out, the luster comes out, and they, in fact, once you get this finish on these countertops, they're very beautiful. They turned out great. So this is the entrance to the addition after we completed it. And this is the outside of the addition. The main door to the existing house remains where it was, but there's a separate entrance to this addition. And some other pictures down the side, along the front, the deck in the back. And then from the personal deck in the back, there is a walkway back to the main deck that for the entire family. So one of the things we try to do with any kind of multi-generational project is give everybody their own privacy, their own space, but yet allowing everybody access to come together as a family at those times that they choose to do so. And then finally, this is just one of my favorite pictures. It's a front porch. The rocking chairs just has that sense of relaxation. This is a project we did for a disabled veteran. We raised the porch. We added the asphalt ramps to be able to create a 0-step entry into this home. So I hope you've enjoyed this walk down memory lane where we just talk about some of the memorable projects that we've done over the years at Solid Rock Enterprises. If you have a unique project, if you have something you would like done that maybe several contractors have looked at and said they weren't interested, give us a call. We'd be happy to take a look at it. Thank you for coming. Thank you for listening. I hope you all have a great day.